just to let you know if you thought it was going to be quick. It's not.
Thank you for joining me here on Mind Your Matters. My name's Amanda Jane, and this is our family's dining room table. We have 4 children, 8, 6, 4, and 2, and we bought this table to help us, and we need to help it now. Like any project, the prep work is going to set the foundation for the rest of your project. So here we're getting the table outside, getting it on a drop cloth, and we're going to get it sanded down.
So here's the thing with sanding down a table. It is going to take you a hot minute. I'm sure some of you have already gathered that with projects that you've done, it always takes a lot longer than you think. So this is going to be a labor of love, something that we're going to work on. My hubby has been sanding down here, and we got down to the bare wood, which is great. And then the rest of the table needs to be done. Another thing is, if you want to know the original color of your table and you have a leaf, just check that out. Big difference. This table's leaf has probably only been used, once or twice. So anyway, it's going to take a hot minute, but it's going to be beautiful when it's done. So just to let you know if you thought it was going to be quick. It's not.
So at this point in the process, my husband and I probably should have made sure the table was extremely clean and washed it down with some Dawn soap and water and let it air dry, but we didn't. But we did start in with the orbital sander with an 80 grit, then went to a 120 grit, and finishing off with a 220 grit. And it definitely took a good amount of time to get all of that stain off. It's also said that washing with the soap and water treatment after sanding, when you get down to bare wood, is good to do. We didn't do that either. Probably should have, but you live, you learn, you figure out your way, and you try not to make the same mistakes again. So why are we trying to save this table? Why are we trying to put so much money and time into repairing this table? Well, we want to stay with what we have if we can. We don't kind of have to buy a brand new solid wood table that might not even match any of our chairs or decor. We know this matches. We know this works for us. We know the size, the dimensions, and everything. So we're going to try. We're going to put in the time, put in the effort, put in the cash, and try to make this thing work. We left our table out overnight on the deck, no problem. And here are some of our supplies. We got some polyurethane, we've got some rollers, we've got liners, we've got wiping cloths to wipe the stain off, we've got tack cloth to clean up in between. Here we have some rollers as well. And we had this brush, it wasn't necessarily needed, but we kept it for other projects. This one trip cost us $23.54. And we're going to use a lot of these things in multiple projects. We already had stain, so we're estimating that with all the discs, here's our wood filler, we're estimating with all our discs that our total cost was $100 for the supplies. So after applying wood filler to areas that needed it, some places were missed. I'd say if you're in doubt, just apply wood filler. It's going to give you a smooth surface. Make sure you use stainable wood filler. It is going to make a smoother surface for the stain to adhere to. We cleaned off the table with tack cloth. We moved the table to the garage. We are using a oil-based stain. Now, we learned that we don't necessarily appreciate oil-based and the difficulties that come with it. Now, not that it's bad, it really did an excellent job, but oil-based does come with its challenges. We have recently stained the door in our living area that we redid. I have a video on that as well. But we stained it a dark stain, and we made sure we used water-based because we learned that we didn't really like oil-based stain. So make sure that you choose the stain that you're wanting to work with. We found out that the brush that we had purchased to use for the corners and cracks wasn't necessary. We used the roller all the way around. As you can see here, it worked out pretty good. After you stain, you do need to wipe it down. That's what the white rag cloths were there for. And you wipe and buff and then stain again. For this project, we did apply 2 coats of stain. Here's the second coat going on, and then we will promptly wipe it off. And also when you stain, you want to stain with the grain. As much as you can, stain along with the grain line. Now to follow the instructions on the back of your stain is best when doing dry time. We only did 12 to 14 hours or so, or an overnight time. A little bit longer might have been best. Now I didn't match my leaf when I went to pick up my stain. I just picked whatever looked alike to the legs and the rest of the table because we didn't want to have to sand down every little nook and cranny of this table. So the top is slightly different, but it does not bother me in one bit. It doesn't stick out like a sore thumb. It is a very beautiful stain and I'm happy with it. If you're finding value and enjoyment in this video and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. And also, if you find this to be a good video, go ahead and like and share. Thanks for sticking with us. So after letting the table dry for about 12 to 14 hours, we applied poly and we found that there was bumping and separating. Now, this could have been due to the lack of drying time on our part with the oil-based stain, or it could have been a problem with not cleaning up with soap and water. So we needed to find a fix for this, and don't worry, we did. This video I'm so excited about having put up. However, it has been crazy. So hopefully the voiceovers don't bother you so much and you can still learn quite a bit about our experience trying to save our dining room table and staining it and getting some poly on it and all of those things. My hubby's gonna be coming home. It's been a couple days. We've been working on it slowly. We do have life to do and things like that. So we've been working on it off and on, and my hubby's gonna be coming home from work a little bit earlier than normal. He's gonna be heading out there to sand and then add the last bit of poly. So hopefully the end of this is near and our table is looking great, and I can't wait to show the whole reveal. The awful disaster it was and the beautiful hard work that has gone in, and I just thank my husband, and it's been great. So I hope that you can see the finished product very, very soon. Thank you for sticking along in this video so far. Hopefully you've learned something. Make sure you ask questions in the comments below if you have anything that we didn't pop in the video or discuss, and maybe we can share the knowledge that we have and all those things. And if you still are finding value in this content, you can give us a thumbs up. It really helps our channel, and it helps this video go out and help others and encourage others to fix or try to fix and make things better that they already have and not have to go out and buy new and things like that, and save them their budget, and also just be resourceful with what God has given us. So sounds like a timer's going off for dinner, but I just wanted to pop on here and make this quick little split here and pop it in the video, and I just thank you for sticking on. Thanks so much. We'll see you in a minute. At this point, we are choosing to sand down the poly to try to get the high points down. So we sanded against the grain and then with the grain using a 220 grit, and getting down the height of the poly and hopefully get better adherence on the next application. Now, after using the orbital sander, we had looked up some things online and we decided that we were going to try what is called wet sanding. So you take sandpaper and you take it with mineral spirits to hopefully get the high points off of the poly that is causing you issues. So my husband here is trying to figure out how to use it because we've never done this before. How to wet sand? Well, we're figuring out a way. So we have a drywall sand block here and some mineral spirits. We tried different ways, but eventually we figured out just dump the mineral spirits on the table and go for it because it's going to dry in 2 seconds anyway. It doesn't go very far. So get those high points, hit the spots that are being a bother to your poly adhering and being too high or what, but you figure out how to do things better by working and trying at it. So that's what we did. Pour it out on the table, get to sanding, and we did get a whole bunch of the high points brought down and the adherence was much better. So what caused this? Was it the fact that we had oils based into, there he's pouring on the table. Did we have oils stuck inside of our table from it being bare in certain spots? Maybe. Did we not wash when we should have? Was there a problem with the tack cloth cleaning? Did the stain knots dry fast enough? What have you? I don't know, but we're fixing it now. What could it have been? We don't know, but we're fixing it. Here we're mixing the polyurethane and the mineral spirits 1:2 ratio, and it helped thin it out. And I believe that this helped it spread better. It wasn't as thick and it didn't separate from any type of lingering oil. Now, so this is the last bit of precious stain that we have left, and we're going to be applying it. We've also read that if you take a blow dryer after you use the poly and you dry off the sections and heat it up a little bit, that the water or something that might be set behind to not allow the poly to adhere will rise out, like water or something that would cause it to have a problem. We didn't use this method, but it would have definitely been something in our tackle box if this did not work, which it did. Now the poly laid on perfectly. You see we have a heater and fans because it was still pretty cold here in Maine and we wanted to try to follow the temperature rules in the back of the can. So this is how we remedied that. Okay, well, you all have been waiting 13 minutes to see the before and the beautiful after effect of our table. All the hard work did pay off. We did make our mistakes and we did learn quite a few things. Like we did buy an extra can of paint, spray, poly, and it gave it more of a matte finish, more of a lived-in finish than a glossy, and we really do enjoy the look that it has. And my husband surprised me with a bonus project. I have wanted to move our flag holder out of the way. It was pulling at the vinyl really bad, so we placed this beautiful number sign above it, and we'll be fixing our flags later. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing and liking, and I pray that this was a blessing to you. We'll see you in the next one.